When I woke up that morning, the forest was silent, not quiet, but silent. Derek's tent flap hung open, motionless. Rachel's camera bag sat by the fire pit, the lens cap still off. Logan's half-burned logs smoldered, a faint wisp of smoke curling upward. 4 sleeping bags, 4 mugs, 4 backpacks. Every footprint from the night before still pressed in the dirt. But not a single human sound. It looked as if the forest had decided they shouldn't exist anymore. 48 hours earlier. We were 5 people deep in the Appalachian backcountry, miles from the nearest road. The air was heavy with pine and the faint metallic smell of rain. Rachel's camera clicked every few seconds. Derek led the way with his GPS. Logan and Hannah argued about whether bears could smell coffee. I walked behind them all, listening to the crunch of leaves under boots, the steady rhythm that made the world seem safe. "You're sure this trail even shows up on the map?" I asked. "According to this," Derek said, tapping his GPS, "it's not even supposed to exist." "Which makes it more fun," and Rachel laughed softly. "You mean more dangerous?" "Same thing," Logan said. "Adventure doesn't happen on marked trails." Hannah sighed. "Adventure gets you eaten." "Or famous," Derek countered. I didn't laugh. There was something about this part of the forest, too dense, too still. Even the air felt watched. We came across the fence around noon the next day. It sliced through the trees like a scar, barbed wire strung between rusted poles, overgrown with moss and ivy. In the middle, a metal sign leaned at an angle, half buried under fallen needles. "Restricted area. Do not enter." Rachel raised her camera immediately. "What the hell is this doing out here?" "Military?" Logan guessed. "There's no base around here," I said. "Not for 50 miles. Derek crouched, brushing dirt off the bottom of the sign. "Looks old? Maybe Cold War stuff, leftover property line, or a cover-up," Logan said, grinning. Hannah rolled her eyes. "Of course, government experiments in the woods." "Classic, but when I looked past the fence, I saw something strange. The trees on the other side were darker, not just shaded, different. The light bent there, somehow duller, as if the world beyond had thicker air." Rachel noticed me staring. "You okay?" "Yeah," I lied. "Just feels colder over there." She aimed her lens through the barbed wire. "You're right." My exposure just dropped 3 stops. We argued for maybe 10 minutes. Derek said it was fine. Logan joked about adding trespassing to our list of wilderness achievements. Hannah hesitated, muttering something about karma. In the end, curiosity won. It always does. Derek found a gap under the lowest wire and held it open while the rest of us crawled through. On the other side, the air did feel colder and quieter. Rachel whispered, "Do you hear that?" We all stopped. Nothing. No birds, no wind, no distant stream. The forest was listening. "Guess we entered the twilight zone," Logan said, forcing a laugh. No one replied. We made camp near dusk, close to a clearing with a fallen oak. Derek built the fire, Logan unpacked the food, and Rachel filmed everything. The flicker of flame, the condensation on the mugs, the orange light reflecting in our faces. For a moment, the world felt almost normal again. "Tomorrow we head east," Derek said. "Should hit the ridge by noon." "Assuming this place doesn't eat us first," Logan joked. Rachel nudged him. "Don't jinx it." Hannah was unusually quiet. She kept glancing into the trees, like she expected someone to be there. I caught her eye once and asked, "You all right?" She nodded too quickly. "Just tired." But later that night, When I got up to take a leak, I saw her standing outside her tent, staring into the woods. "Couldn't sleep?" I whispered. She didn't look at me. Thought I heard something. "What kind of something?" Her eyes didn't move. Footsteps, slow ones. We listened together. The fire had died down, just embers glowing. For a moment, nothing. Then, faintly, from somewhere beyond the clearing, came the sound of leaves shifting, not wind, too deliberate. Derek stirred inside his tent. Logan mumbled in his sleep, and the footsteps stopped. "Probably a deer," I said, trying to sound calm. "Yeah," she whispered. "Probably." We went back to our tents. I stared at the ceiling of nylon until dawn bled through the fabric. When I finally drifted off, I thought I heard breathing. Not near the tent, inside it. The morning after felt wrong even before I opened my eyes. It wasn't the cold, or the light, or the silence. It was the feeling. The kind you get in dreams when something's already gone wrong, but you can't say what. I reached out, expecting the soft rustle of tents nearby, the clink of a pot, Logan's stupid morning jokes. Nothing. When I unzipped my tent, the air hit me, sharp, metallic, hollow. The campsite looked untouched. The fire pit was still warm, a few ashes glowing faintly. Rachel's camera sat where she'd left it. Hannah's jacket was folded neatly over a log. Derek's GPS blinked on and off, low battery. But the people were gone, all four of them. "Guys?" My voice sounded too loud in the stillness. "Come on, quit screwing around." I walked in a slow circle, expecting someone to jump out laughing. No one did. The forest stretched endlessly in every direction, tall trunks like bars of a cage. Rachel, Derek, Logan, Hannah. Only the echo came back, flatter, softer, like the trees were absorbing it instead of returning it. I found 4 backpacks, untouched, 4 sleeping bags, still unzipped and empty. Every footprint from the night before still pressed in the dirt. But there were no new ones. It was as if they'd simply evaporated. By noon, I had walked half a mile in each direction, calling until my throat went raw. I marked trees with my knife, left bits of cloth on branches, tried to make sense of the terrain. Every time I looked up, the sun seemed to be in the same place, caught behind thin, colorless clouds, frozen. At one point, I found a trail of prints, sneakers, small ones. Rachel's. I followed them eagerly through the underbrush, heart hammering, whispering her name like a prayer. The tracks wound between 2 thick oaks, crossed a patch of moss, and stopped. Just stopped. No scuff marks, no shift in the soil, as if she had walked into the air and never come down. I turned in circles, dizzy. The forest pressed in tighter. By late afternoon, I'd started talking to myself. Anything to fill the emptiness. Okay. Maybe they went east. Maybe they thought I was gone, and I stopped mid-sentence. A sound, soft far. At first I thought it was the wind, but then I heard it again. My name. Eli. It came from somewhere to my right, faint but distinct. Rachel's voice. "Rachel," I shouted. "I'm here." No answer. Then, again, closer this time, "Eli." But now it wasn't Rachel. It was Logan. I ran toward the sound, branches slapping my face. "Logan, where are you?" The forest shifted as I moved. The trees felt wrong, rearranged. I stumbled into a clearing I didn't recognize. It was empty and silent again. I tried to laugh, but my throat was dry. Great. Now I'm chasing echoes still. I couldn't shake the sense that I wasn't alone. The silence had weight, like something waiting for me to speak so it could listen. Night came faster than it should have. The light didn't fade, it just stopped. Like someone dimmed the world in one motion. I built a fire, small and careful. Its crackling sounded too loud, too bright. My reflection in the metal cup looked older, thinner. I couldn't tell if it was the flicker of the flames or something else behind me. Then the voices came back, faint, drifting through the trees. Not words, tones. Laughter, maybe. Breathing. A cough that could have been mine. I stood up, heart pounding. "Derek? That you?" No reply. But I could swear I saw shapes moving between the trunks, shadows that bent the wrong way. And then, softly, like a whisper pressed against my ear, "Eli." I froze. The voice was mine. It came from somewhere deep in the woods. Slow, deliberate, calm. "Eli, come here." I took a step back. "No." The whisper grew lower, almost kind. "You're going the wrong way." My own voice, patient and confident, exactly how I sounded yesterday. The fire flickered. For a second, I thought I saw a figure standing beyond the light. The same posture, same outline as me. Then it was gone. I sat by the dying fire until dawn, shaken, afraid to blink. Because I knew whatever I heard wasn't an echo. It was a direction. I don't know how many days passed after that night. Time had become meaningless. The sky never changed, and the forest never aged. The air was heavy and still, as if the world had stopped breathing. I wandered aimlessly, sometimes hearing my name echoing through the trees, sometimes complete silence. I stopped counting steps, stopped hoping, stopped believing the forest had an end. Then one afternoon, I heard something new. A sound so ordinary, it broke me. Running water. It was faint at first, a gentle murmur behind the trees, distant but alive. My throat tightened. I ran toward it, stumbling through brush and roots until the forest opened into a clearing. A stream, clear, cold, winding between rocks. Sunlight glimmered on its surface like shards of glass. I fell to my knees, cupped my hands, and drank. The water was sharp, metallic, real. I hadn't felt anything so real in days. When I looked down again, I saw them. At first, I thought my mind was gone. 4 familiar shapes reflected in the water beside me. Rachel, Derek, Logan, and Hannah. They sat together on a patch of grass, backpacks beside them, the same ones I'd left behind. Rachel was holding her camera, turning it in her hands. Derek was pointing at a map spread over a log. Logan laughed, that same easy laugh that always cut through tension. And Hannah was staring toward the trees, worried but calm. They were alive. Completely, utterly alive. I froze, staring at their reflections. They moved naturally, spoke to each other, unaware I was watching. "He couldn't have gone far," Derek said, tracing a finger across the map. "He wouldn't just leave," Hannah replied. "You know, Eli." "Maybe he got turned around," Logan said, still trying to smile. "It's easy to get lost out here." "We should split up," Rachel said quietly. "Half of us follow the creek. Maybe he went for water." My lips trembled. They were talking about me. "Rachel," I shouted. "I'm here. Right here." My voice echoed off the trees, but in the reflection, they didn't react. They just kept talking, calm and steady. "If he hears us, he'll shout back," Derek said. "Yeah," Logan added, "unless he's too far." "I'm not far," I screamed. "Look at me." "Please." And then, Hannah paused. She turned her head slightly, eyes narrowing, as if she'd heard something faint, far away. "Wait," she whispered. "Did you hear that?" The others looked at her. "Hear what?" Rachel asked. It sounded like his voice. For a second, my heart leapt. I waved both arms, shouting until my voice broke. "Yes, it's me. Hannah, I'm here." But Rachel shook her head. "It's just the wind," she said. The group packed their things slowly, solemnly. They were going to leave. I slammed my hands into the water, desperate. Ripples spread across the surface, but not outward. They moved toward me, like the reflection was pulling them in. The faces in the water blurred, distorted. And for an instant, I thought I saw something else behind them, another me, standing among them, laughing, talking. I froze. The Eli in the reflection looked happy, normal, like he'd never been lost at all. The real me, if that word still meant anything, was on my knees, screaming soundlessly. Rachel's reflection lifted her camera, pointing it toward the stream. Through the lens, she seemed to look directly at me. "I don't know," she murmured. "Sometimes I feel like he's still here." "He's not," Derek said. "He's gone." But I saw her expression change, just slightly. Her eyes widened, and for a heartbeat, I thought she saw me. "Rachel," I shouted one last time, voice cracking. She blinked, the water rippled, and then nothing. The reflections faded. The clearing was empty again. Only the sound of water remained. I stared down at the stream for a long time. My own reflection stared back, pale, hollow-eyed, lips trembling. Their faces froze in the water. I whispered, and for the first time, I realized. The reflection smiled back. The reflection wasn't theirs. It was mine. If this story unsettled you, leave a like and let the shadows know. Subscribe for more tales you shouldn't hear after dark. And if you've seen something you can't explain, tell us in the comments. We're always listening.